Hello everyone, welcome back to the second lecture on the design of simple machine parts. Today we'll be seeing how we can design the quarter joint for the different use. Okay, so we'll going to design actually the dimensions of the quarter joint and what is the procedure adopted to design the quarter joint we'll be seeing in this entire video. Okay, so let us get started. Okay. Now, as the introduction, we already seen what exactly the quarter joint means. Okay. Now, quarter joint, as I told you, it's a flat wedge-shaped steel piece of a rectangular cross section. Okay, with the uniform thickness. Okay, it is something like this. It will something look like this. Okay, like this, like this. Okay, which is taper on one side and the straight on the one side. Okay, now quarter, so what is the use of this quarter is used to connect rigidly two rods which are subjected to the tensile and the compressive force. Now this is very important because you can use the quarter only when there are tensile or compressive. When there is a rotation, we cannot use the quarter joint for the design. Sorry. And the usual shape, okay, there are some standard shapes are there, and the usual shape of the quarter varies from 1 inch to 48 to 1 in 24. Okay, now this is what the usual dimensions of the quarter joint. Okay, so let us start with the designing the quarter joint. So this is what the some of the points which I told you. Okay, you can go through it. Okay, let us start with the failure of the quarter joint. Okay, now first one, a failure of the rod in the tension. As I told you, it is subjected to the either tensile stress or the compressive stress. Okay, now we know that P equal to, okay, sorry, not P, sigma equal to, what is sigma? Sigma is nothing but the stress induced, which is equals to P by A. Okay, now P by A. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the area resisting to the tearing. So what is area? Area, since the rod is the circular in nature, A is equals to pi by 4 into d square, that is the resisting area for the applied force. Okay, now similarly, if you want to calculate the tearing strength, so it is nothing but pi by 4 d square, that is P we have to calculate. So just shift this A to this side. Sigma is nothing but the stress, that is the tensile. A is the area of the rod, that is pi by 4 into d square. Okay, so when you equate the both the equation, we'll get P equal to, that is the tearing resistance, pi by 4 d square into sigma t. Okay, now from this equation we'll find out the diameter of the rod. Okay, now this is the first step towards the calculation of the diameter of the rod. So let us move to the second step. Okay, now second step is failure of the spigot in the tension across the weakest section of this rod. Okay, now this is the spigot I have shown here with the outer diameter d2. Okay, so we have to calculate now the diameter of the spigot, that is the d2. So first we have to calculate the area, same as we calculate the resisting area for the first part. Okay, so resisting area is pi by 4 d2 square, that is the diameter of the spigot, d2 into t, where t is the thickness. Okay, so we'll further modify the equation and we can write pi by 4 d2 square minus d2 into 2 into sigma t. This is what we are going to calculate the failure of the spigot, as how we calculate the failure of the rod. Similarly, on the same basis, you have to calculate the value of P, that is the failure strength of the spigot. We'll move to the next. A failure of the rod or quarter in the crushing. Okay, now As I told you, it is subjected to the either tensile stress or the compressive stress. So we are taking the both the stresses into the account. So we already calculated the resistance in the tension. So let us move to calculate the resistance in the crushing. So this is the formula P equal to D2, okay, into T into sigma C, where T is the thickness and sigma C is the nothing but the crushing strength. Okay. Now from this equation, where induced crushing stress may be checked. So this is the final formula to calculate the induced crushing stress in case of the failure of the quarter, that is pi by 4 d1 square minus d2 square minus d1 minus d2 into T into sigma C, where T is the thickness of the quarter and sigma C is the crushing strength. Okay. So next is the failure of the quarter in the shear. Okay. Now when you calculate the shear, you have to take this B into the account, that is width of the quarter. Okay. So final equation to calculate the failure of the quarter in a shear is P equal to 2BT into tau, where this tau is nothing but the shear stress and the P is nothing but the shear strength. Okay, from this equation we can obtain the value of the B, that is the width of the quarter. Okay, next one, failure of the socket collar in the crushing. Okay, remember whatever parts are there in the entire assembly of the quarter joint, we have to analyze the every part and we have to calculate strength, that is tensile, either tensile or crushing for the every part. Okay, so here we are going to calculate now failure of the socket in the crushing. So the formula for this P equal to d1 minus d2 into T into sigma C. Okay. Now from this equation, the diameter of the socket collar we can calculate, that is the d4. We'll move to the next. Now similarly, failure of the socket in the shearing. We calculated in crushing, now calculate in case of the shearing. So this is the for the single shear and the double shear we have calculated. P equal to 2 into d4 minus d2 C into tau. Okay. So this is how we can design the quarter joint. Now we have to remember the procedure. Anyway, these all the formulas, they are already available in your data handbook. Okay, so even I have mentioned here the formulas. Okay, list of the formula that we are going to use while solving the or designing the quarter. Okay, thank you.